Hello, Shay. I'm doing good. How are you? I am a fresher who has done his engineering in Triple E. I know Python really well and pursue a career in data science. Is the Great Learning PG program a good option? I want to work before the end of 2024. Uh, so the thing about the program is that it's a good course in terms of learning material, teaching, and all those kind of things, and the support which they provide. It's good. It's just it is very expensive, and it works really well for those people who have some experience. So maybe if they wanna switch from, let's say, some IT role to maybe data science or something like that. So for those people, it works really well. But from what I have talked to a lot of people, they always say that freshers, they struggle to find a job. I'm not saying that it's up to the great learning. If you learn really well and if you do good projects and if you have a good portfolio, I think you will be able to find a job. But if you think that taking that course will guarantee job for you, I won't say that's the case. So if you think you want to learn and you're ready to spend that much, I think yes, it's a good course. But then if you're thinking that taking that course will ensure a job, that's not the case. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Hey Bravey, doing well. How are you? Hello Roshan, are there any training institutes in the UK? Example, software testing, full stack, Python, etc., where we can work in part time as a mentor. Yes, there are multiple institutes like that, and yes, if they have opening, yes, definitely you can work part time there. So you will have option for that if you're looking for that. What are considered to be good projects for someone getting into data science industry? Good projects. So again, there are two ways of looking at it. One is from the competition perspective, and the other one is from the company's perspective. So first, let's talk about the company's perspective. So if you have done a project which is very relevant to the company you're applying to, you will have better chances of getting an interview call. So for example, let's say there are two candidates, A and B. Candidate A has done okayish projects, but then the project which he or she had done, it is very much relevant to the company which both of these have applied. But then there is this candidate B who is in quite a lot of interesting projects, but then they are of no relevance to the company where they are applying. So the recruiter will be more interested in interviewing candidate A, even though the projects are simpler and they are not um, something which is very different, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is, if you want to have an overall good project, overall good profile or portfolio, in that case you need to have some projects which shows your fundamental knowledge, like traditional machine learning algorithm or traditional deep learning stuff, and then maybe also have some generative AI sort of things in your portfolio, so that you can show that you have worked on traditional machine learning as well, and then you are moving towards recent technologies as well, or recent developments as well. So that will show a really good pathway for you, or to the hiring manager, that you have worked on all different kind of projects, so you have knowledge for those things. So these are the two different perspectives, and I would suggest, if you are not sure which sector you want to enter, if you don't have any preferred sector, some people, they really like to get into health sector, but then there are people who wants to get into um, financial sector, supply chain, things like that. So if you don't have any preferable sector, in that case I think second option is a better one. But if you think you have something in mind and you want to get into some sector of your choice, in that case I would say making projects related to that sector will really help you. I got admission in UCC Ireland for mathematical modeling and machine learning. Thanks for your advice. We talked. Yes, I do remember, because we have a very limited audience. So whoever joins like couple of times, or maybe at least once, it's always easy to remember. So yeah, congrats, Bravey. It's really good that you have got into UCC. It's a good university, and I think I had uh, applied to UCC as well. It's just really hard to remember. It's more than 2 years now. But yeah, it's a good university, and why I think I had applied to this course is because this course name sounds very familiar to me. So yeah, congrats, and I hope you like the course and you will get most out of it. How much do they pay, if you have any idea? So you will definitely get minimum wage, which is I think around 11 pounds per hour, or maybe 10 pounds per hour. I don't remember exactly, but there are chances that they will pay more than minimum wage. So if you are working part time, maybe they will pay 15, 16 pounds, sometimes even 20 pounds, depending on what your role will be and how you're doing there. So it ranges from, let's say, 11 pound to 11 pound to 20 pounds per hour. I'm doing good. Ashutosh, how are you? Hi Roshan, how have you been doing? I'm doing good, Rupa. I like the new streaming spot. Looks cozy. It is actually quite cozy and nice to sit here. You also get a view outside of the window, and it's good to sit in, especially when it's sunny like today. You get some sunlight as well. So yeah, it's a good spot. Is Kaggle a good platform to display your skills to companies? Look at it, and thank you for answering. Yes, definitely. If you have a good Kaggle profile, if you have participated in different challenges, and if you have contributed to different projects there, I think yeah, it is really a good platform, especially for data scientists. So uh, if you want to have some good profile or portfolio, it's always good to have a Kaggle portfolio. And then if you are able to build something there, I would suggest definitely sharing your Kaggle profile link in your CV, or in your portfolio. How should I start with machine learning? There are multiple ways of learning machine learning. Some people, they like to first brush up their mathematics, and by mathematics I mean some of the concepts like linear algebra, calculus, probability, statistics, things like that. And then they jump into machine learning, and then they pick one algorithm, and then they go really deep into that algorithm until they fully understand the ins and outs of that particular algorithm. So this is depth first search, depth first learning. And then the other one is where obviously they will do some basic exploration of mathematics, but not necessarily they will understand everything right away. But then they will start with machine learning first, and then they will understand all the algorithms, how they work, what are the use cases of those algorithms, and in what scenarios those algorithms are good. And then they look at packages like sklearn using Python. If you are using R, I think you can use Caret, if I remember correctly. You can use those packages, and then you can implement those algorithms to see how they actually work in a real world scenario. And then once you have seen it working, you can get into depth of each and every algorithm, like understanding the nitty gritty of it. And while going to the nitty gritty of or the mathematics part of those algorithms, if you don't understand some mathematical concept, you can brush up your mathematical concepts there. So these are the two different ways of learning machine learning. It depends which one you like. So depending on, you can choose. I have tried both, and sometimes I feel like I should suggest the second one, but then sometimes I feel like I should suggest the first one. So I personally don't have a clear winner, because it depends on algorithm to algorithm, how much time I have, and what I want to do. If I have some use case in my mind, or I actually want to work on, well, I'm talking about when I was learning machine learning and something. So when I had some project in mind that I wanted to do this project using machine learning, I used to just start the project. I used to explore which algorithms would be good for it, and then I used to pick those algorithms. And then but then for me, mathematics was not a problem, because I personally liked mathematics right from the start. So I was quite comfortable with all the mathematical aspects. So I never had that issue of not being able to understand the mathematics of an algorithm. So I may not be able to tell you from that perspective. So yeah, I would say maybe give it a try. Maybe pick one algorithm, and then try to understand how it works, and then try to implement it, and then try to see the mathematics of the algorithm. And if you are finding it hard to understand that, then maybe you can go with the first approach. So these are the two different approaches, and I hope uh, this will help you. Do you have other content creator friends? No, I don't. um well, some of my friends, they did say they want to do content creation, or they wanted to do content creation long back, and some of them did start, but they just couldn't keep up with it, and then they stopped in between. So yeah, I had like a couple of friends, but nobody's there. When do you know that you're industry ready in data science? So the simple way of telling that you are industry ready is if you take a use case, or if you take a project, and if you can do the whole project end to end, right from the data collection, data cleaning, till maybe at least training and testing your model, if not deployment. So if you're able to do all those things on your own, and by on your own I don't mean that without a single Google search. You can do Google search, but at least you are not copying the project from different platforms like Kaggle or YouTube or GitHub. So if you're not following someone other's project, if you are doing a project on your own, and if you're able to carry out the project from start till end, I think you can say quite comfortably that yes, you are industry ready. And when working on these projects, I would also suggest, because when you're working on these projects on your own, you usually are quite flexible with the success criteria. So I would say set the success criteria upfront even before starting the project, because first you need to understand the project from business perspective. How helpful is that uh, use case or the project for the business? And depending on that, set those goals and set those success criteria, that okay, this, if I achieve this much accuracy in this model, it is going to help the business, but if it is below that, it is completely useless. So try to set the criteria like that, and then try to achieve those goals. And if you are able to achieve that goal, and if you try to solve that business problem, I think you are industry ready. And it is important for you to uh, explain these steps when you are in an interview, that I decided these goals upfront and I looked at it from the business perspective. Because doing a data science project without a proper goal is quite easy. You can just pick any data set, you can try to train a machine learning model. It may work, it may not work. If it does not work, you can always blame the data, that our data was crap, I couldn't get the good accuracy. But then you, if you are aware of your success criteria before the project, I think that will give you a very good uh, understanding of how things work in business, and that will always help you in the interview as well. What's your long term goal? Like, do you want to work on your something or planning for job and promotions? Um, so before I joined my current role, I wanted to build something, and I'm not saying that I don't want to build anything anymore now. I have a couple of ideas, couple of projects in my mind, and as soon as I am little bit more stable, I will start working on those things. But my current role is actually quite interesting and quite good, and also the people I'm working with are really good. So if in future I was thinking, sorry, in the past when I was thinking about maybe I will work for like 2 3 years, and then I will, once I have a little bit of saving, I will start working on something. Well, I would have been working on that in parallel as well, but once I have a little bit saving, I will start to invest those savings into the work which uh, I am doing slash so yeah, that would have been the plan. But I am quite happy, so I want to see how far I can go in my current role, depending on opportunities, promotions, learning experience, and mm, collaborative environment, things like that. So if at some point I feel like things are not working the way I wanted it to be, because people come and go when you are in a job, and at some point you start to think like, I want to do something else. If that situation arises, then I will probably think about switching things from my full-time job to making something else my full-time job, right? So yeah, that's the plan. Nothing is set in stone right now, so I'm quite flexible right now. And yeah, I'm thinking about a lot of things, but I'm just letting things go slowly, because I don't want to rush for something, because I have tried rushing for few things in the past, and whenever I have rushed, things never went well. So that's a, I would say that probably not the most clearest answer, because even I'm not clear about that. But the good thing is I'm really happy in my current role, so I really want to see how far I can go in my current role. And maybe at some point I will decide what to do with other things that I have in my mind, and how to go on with those things. But it's a really good question, Ashutosh. because you really need to think in long term as well what you want from your professional life, keeping in mind your personal life as well. So yeah, I would say it's a really good question. Can you please share us a few of your beginning projects? When you go to on my GitHub, you will be able to find quite a lot of data science project repositories. There will be some really old repositories. I think I created those repositories when I started working on actual projects, not the coding, but yeah, when I actually started working on some of the web development projects, they are way too well basic. If you try to run those projects, they may not even run today. But yeah, if you ignore those things, probably you'll be able to find some data science projects there. So yeah, GitHub is a place where you can find some of my projects. What are your plans, Asutosh, or any one of you here? If you are comfortable enough to share your goals or plans in long term, please feel free to share, because it's always good to hear what you guys are thinking, what you guys are planning. So yeah, if you feel comfortable to share here, please do. Is it ideal to do a master's in data science slash data analyst, or learn from online or self-learn data science and display projects in Kaggle and try to hunt a job? How to how to find your projects in GitHub? Thank you. You will be able to find the GitHub profile link in the description. So from there you will be able to see all the projects in the repository section. Yeah. um so if you are trying to find a job in foreign country, it is usually easier to do a master's and then try to find a job there, because then you get some sort of post study work visa. So if you are looking for a job outside the country, that is relatively easier to do, but then yes, it involves quite a lot of investment there. But if you're trying to find a job within the country, within your home country, in that case it's better to learn from online resources and then create your portfolio or profile on Kaggle, on anything else. Like if you want to create a web page where you want to display your projects, that's again a good way to do it. So yeah, uh, there are different end goals, so depending on that you can choose whichever is convenient for you. How is blah blah, that is done. Currently I'm working as JRF. If you want some collaboration in future, do let me know. What is JRF? I didn't quite catch that, so maybe you could explain. But yeah, sure. If I feel like yes, I really want to work on some project, I will certainly let you know, Ashutosh. My plan this year is to upgrade my skill set and build a career in the field of data science, keeping other things constant. That's a good plan. Yeah, and also I think taking smaller steps towards your end goal is always good to do that. So uh, good luck, Shai. So yeah, is 25k pounds good salary in London? Um, no. The simple answer is no. It's not, because London is actually a very expensive place to live in. But if you are smart with your financial planning, if you are smart with how you spend your money, on what things you want to spend and how you want to spend, I think if you are smart with that, I think you'll be able to still save money out of that salary. So in general, no, it's not. But then if you are smart with your money, I think you can still uh, save money out of 25k. Junior research fellow. Oh, right, yeah. Got it. I think I remember now. Good stuff, Ashutosh. Please tell us about your spending. My most of the spendings are on food and rent. That's all. Apart from that, I don't really have any other spendings. I don't really like to go out clubbing, partying, and things like that. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do all those kind of things. So I don't have a lot of spending on those things. And in terms of food, again, you can be smart there as well, because if you just go to the nearest shop and buy whatever you can, you will end up spending a lot more. So if you go to some stores, like in the UK you have stores like Asda, Lidl, Aldi, Tesco, things like that. So when you go to those stores, you will always be able to find uh, the store's branded items, and those are usually the cheaper ones. Also, they are not uh, of the worst quality, because then there are some brands which you will be able to find even cheaper, but then they are not that good. So if you just pick things from any store, you might end up spending a lot more for the same item. You will pay less when you buy to these places. So that's how I do my shopping. In terms of clothes and stuff, it's very occasional. Again, I don't spend on branded clothes that much. So yeah, I don't spend too much on outfit as well. So that's my spending. Best platform to learn data science. Hmm. Which free certificate is recognized more for data scientist job? So free platform to learn data science, I think YouTube is the platform where you can learn about data science. You have a lot of courses here. You can learn anything here. And if you want to work on some projects, I think Kaggle is a really good place to find data sets and work on projects. Certificates, I think there are some certificates like AI, some thousand, some hundred. I don't remember the exact name, from Azure. So it's a good certificate. I think it's free, so you can do that. If you're going for any data science certificates, I don't think they are going to be that impactful, because when you perform your data science task on cloud, it is much more valuable for a company, because all the companies these days, they want to make use of cloud platforms and not having to have physical systems on which you need to write, because of a lot of different reasons. One is compute power, of course, but then there are a lot of security frameworks that company will have to put in place, so that you don't take out data from the system and things like that. So to tackle all these issues, they prefer to do all the computation within the cloud. So if you have some experience with that, if you have worked in the past, if you have worked on projects using cloud platforms, it will always help you to uh, leverage that in an interview or in your job. So companies do appreciate having some cloud knowledge there. Hopefully your food habits would have changed there. Like what exactly vegetarians eat there? Yeah. I didn't used to eat egg, but now I've started eating egg. But apart from that, I am still on a vegetarian diet, and I am not gonna go for non-vegetarian diet. I'm pretty sure about it. But yeah, a lot of things have changed. At home, you can literally just eat whatever you want, because either you, well, at least for me, when I was working or when I was in my university, we had cook coming every day. So he used to make food, and when you are at home, I just used to eat whatever my mom used to cook. So it was quite easy, and I didn't know how to cook. After coming here, yes, I learned how to cook, and now that I have my own separate space for kitchen, so I try different things, and usually things turn out to be good. So I'm learning new stuff, and yeah, things have changed. But then I think I've learned a really good life skill, which is cooking, and I suggest everyone to know cooking. But before coming here, I never appreciated cooking that much. But after coming here, I realized cooking is very important. And what exactly vegetarians eat? Mm, you get a lot of plant-based things here. So by plant-based, I mean I think they use what do you call it? Soya chunk. Yeah. So they make these burger patty with soya chunk. It tastes okay, and sausages, they again make it plant-based sausages, things like that. But then apart from that, you get all the vegetables here. So if you want to make your own curry, you can make that. You also have option of paneer, you can get that. Tofu is there. So things like that, you do get all the things. And in almost all the bigger cities slash mid-range cities, you get these Indian stores everywhere. So it's easy to find whatever you want in terms of your masalas and spices and things like that. You can easily find those things in those stores. And even in bigger stores like Asda, Aldi, Tesco, they have this, what do you call it? I think it's international grocery section or something like that. They call it something like that, where you can find a lot of things from other countries. Especially most of the times, it is from India. So yeah, I really appreciate your help, and your insights have given me a good perspective. I feel more clear and confident moving ahead in my life. Keep doing your great work. I'm glad that my answers helped you, mate. And yeah, if you have any questions, I am always here on Saturdays, 12 p.m. UK time. So I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. But if you think you want to ask something else, you can always post in the comments. You can join Telegram group or Discord server. You can ask your questions there as well. Community is quite helpful. So if you have some generic question, and if somebody is aware of those questions, they'll be more than happy to answer your questions there as well. So yeah, there are a lot of platforms where you can reach out. You can get your queries cleared. I'm more than happy to help you. You're welcome, Shaker. Do you cook in bulk for 2 days or week? 2 days. I don't cook for the whole week. So yeah, I do cook in bulk, but smaller bulks. So if I have cooked something today, I can eat it for like 2 days. and that's how I do. I don't like to cook for the whole week. Yesterday I finished my work quite late, and by the time I was done with my exercise, cooking and stuff, it was already kind of like late, 12:30 or something like that. And then this morning I got up at 6:30, which is not unusual. So before live Q&A, I was just way too sleepy, so I had kept an alarm uh, just to remind me, and just to make sure that I don't sleep, because then I would have just messed things up and I would have missed the live Q&A. So I just had this alarm set so that uh, I can do the live Q&A. Next stop is learning. Next stop in learning would be learning how to prepare rasam. I love rasam. I have made rasam, but it's like the easiest way. You get these rasam powders in grocery stores, right? So I bought those rasam powder, and I just boiled water. I added rasam powder. I added some tomatoes, and yeah, I think that's all what I did, and I was done with rasam. So it was not the best rasam I have ever ate, but uh, at least it was able to fulfill my craving for rasam. I really like rasam. So yes, I I will try to learn proper way of making rasam. So yeah, good suggestion. Thanks, Rupa. How do you exactly divide your deep learning work? How you set targets? Um, well, again, it depends from project to project. But if I talk in general terms, well, not topic to topic, but project to project. If I talk in general terms, I think first thing is mainly to um explore the data, EDA. Once I am done with the EDA data analysis, but before that, like I said, I set those goals, like I want to achieve um, certain level of accuracy. I want to, maybe if I'm working on, let's say, generating an image, so I want to have some level of clarity in the image. It should be able to identify the objects in the image, things like that, right? So yeah, those goals. And then after that, of course, data exploitation, what kind of data I have, how many data points I have, are there any outliers. If I'm working on an image, I would like to see different type of orientations in the image. Are all the images following same color scheme? If I'm looking at some of the objects, are they clearly identified in those images? Do I need to do some image processing? Do I need to crop them? Do I need to resize them? Things like that. Once data prep is done, I look at different models. Well, it's been a while. I haven't worked on a deep learning project, so I may not exactly remember uh, the architectures itself. But yeah, I start looking at different architectures like VGG or Inception, things like that, right? And see which one will work better. If you are working on uh, generating images and stuff, maybe you would want to work on uh, UNet, or maybe if you are trying to remove the blur from the images, you can again use UNet for that. So things like that, I try to even, and this is even before applying those architectures on the data, because that's the important thing. You need to understand which architecture to use and which will work good. If you're not sure, what you can do is you can take a smaller subset of the data, and then you can apply those algorithms on, or those architectures on those images, and see which one is performing the best. So if you provide more data to that architecture, most of the time it will perform better as compared to other architecture. So that's another way. um, Once that is done, you have decided your architecture, then you need to decide the activation function. Same goes for activation functions. Some of the popular activation functions, they always work, like atom and things like that. So but then if you think that is not going to work, or if you think it is not working, then you can try other activation functions as well. Once you have decided the whole architecture of the project, once you are ready to actually start coding, you just need to put things in place, because coding is the easier part. um, and Yeah, that's how I approach my deep learning uh, deep learning projects. And yeah, then model testing and things like that once you have trained your model. And then it depends. mm, and then I think it also depends on who is going to be the end user, and what are the different kind of deadlines you have to meet. So for example, if I am working for my university, or was working on assignment, right? If they have given me a deadline, like I just need to work on this project and I need to complete this project within a week, then obviously you will not have that much time to fine tune the model and then try different architectures. In that case, I think that first planning phase comes into picture, and it helps you to speed up a lot of process. But then you need to set your goals according to that. If you think within a week you won't be able to train a really good model which can give you accuracy of around 90% or maybe more, in that case you need to set your goals accordingly, maybe go for 80% or something like that, which is acceptable, uh, but maybe not to the full extent whatever you can do. So depending on that, you need to set your goals. And I think majority of your time is going to go in data processing, data exploration, and planning phase. So if if we take like you have 100% time, out of which I would suggest dedicate 60% of the time to those parts, and then keep 40% for the coding if you're not too comfortable with coding. But if you think that you're good with coding, once the planning is done, once you have the whole outline of the project, then maybe you can dedicate just 30% for that. So depending on that, you can set the deadlines as well. I hope I was able to answer your question. It was a bit detailed one, but I hope this is what you were asking. uh okay, no, I'm talking about time deadline. I think, yeah, I answered that. Last we talked, you used to work in LP. Did that change? No. So the thing is, I am working for customer feedback team, and NLP is never gonna change, because lot of feedback that we get, it is in the form of text. So that is never gonna change. But then apart from that, um, there will be a lot of different traditional machine learning uh, use cases, and maybe in future we'll have deep learning use cases as well. So there are a lot of different uh, side projects, or maybe the projects which will add some value to the overall use case, but NLP will always be there. Top three websites slash apps for data science news and jobs. uh, I think there is this newsletter which is the rundown, I think. That's one. The other one is superhuman, and one more I would like to suggest, which is TLDR AI. So these are the three newsletters which I personally follow, and I usually get quite a lot of information from those newsletters, like what is happening in the world of AI and data science. As for jobs, I think LinkedIn is the go-to website for me. Whenever I had looked for jobs, LinkedIn was the one where I looked for the job most of the time. So yeah, that is the only website which I can suggest. Glassdoor is also a good platform. There also you'll be able to find jobs. And then I think Stack Overflow also has this job listings on one of the sections on the website, so you'll be able to find there as well. So those are some of the websites. And then there are always these regional websites. In the UK there are some websites like Total Job, Target Job, CV Library. They're quite popular here, so I have used those websites as well in the past. But depending on your country, these websites will always change. Hi Akash, I'm doing good. I'm doing MSc Data Science. I finished my first semester exam. In the first semester, I studied Python, R programming, and did projects as a part of coursework. Can you suggest how can I build my profile to apply for internship in UK? So the first thing is whatever projects you have done. If you have not put those projects on GitHub, I would suggest that would be the first step. And I'm not saying that you just need to push your projects to GitHub. I'm saying that you need to create README files. If somebody wants to replicate your projects in their system, you need to add those steps in the README file. You also need to explain what was the use case, some introduction, and if you have different sections like the data processing and things, you need to explain those things in within the README file, so that even before jumping into the folder, your project folder, the user or the hiring manager, they can already see what you have done and what's been done in the project and how you have done those things, right? So it is very important. The other thing is, when we work for or when we work on the projects in the university, we just create one ipython notebook and we do everything in just one or two files. I would suggest maybe divide it into, well, not divide the whole ipython notebook into different sections, but at least create different folders. For example, if you have used some data, keep it in data folder. um, you can put all your notebooks in src folder. You can have you also need to have requirements.txt, which will have all the packages which you used, and then upload that on github, and then you will have readme file. So it will look much more structured rather than having just one file there, or which is don't upload your data to github, but just keep a placeholder data folder, and then maybe you can push the data folder on github, but don't push your data to github. So you can add your git ignore file there. So those kind of things. So when you structure your project that way, it looks very professional, and to a hiring manager, it becomes quite clear that okay, you do understand how to organize a project and not just work on a project. So that is again important. That will be the first step. The next one is going to be maybe create a simple, well, while we are on github, it is also important to have your github profile presentable. So add your details, like your location, what you're doing right now. Maybe if you're a student, you can add your university name there, things like that. And create a nice landing page where you tell a bit about yourself, what type of tools you use. When you go to my GitHub profile, you will see it's not the best looking GitHub profile, but it gets the job done. It is also not the worst one. So if you can get somewhere close to that, or if you can make better than that, it's always good. So go to my GitHub profile, you'll be able to find uh, projects in a proper structure. You can follow that structure. You can look at my GitHub profile and you can see, you can get some idea how to organize your um, how to organize or how to make your GitHub profile look bit better. Once GitHub is done, you can create a portfolio, web-based portfolio, and maybe you can add your projects there as well. The important GitHub. So if you already have a GitHub profile, if you are already pushing your projects to GitHub, in that case, I would say pick 5-6 projects and explain those projects on your web page. Create a static web page. You don't have to create a dynamic one. You can use Git pages for that. Create a static web page and add those projects there. explain those projects. Again, you can use content from your readme file onto your website and add the link of your github repository there, so that if somebody goes to your portfolio, they know which projects to look for. Because of course on github you can pin the important repositories or important projects, but then having a portfolio always helps. But if you want to go one step further than that, then whatever projects that you have done, try to deploy them using Streamlit. And you can use Gradio, you can use any tool you want. Streamlit and Gradio, they are just examples. So use those tools to maybe host your machine learning project or data science project, whatever you've done, whatever you have worked on, and make it accessible or usable by the recruiter. So when they can actually interact with your project, it leaves a really good impression. So maybe you can add those projects in your portfolio. So that's how you can create a really good portfolio, and it increases your chances of getting an internship or even a job. You're welcome, Shikhar. How is the current job market? Hmm, it's still the same. I won't say it has taken a turn for a good. Maybe it's not worse than before, so it is still the same. It's not good. There are less number of jobs, and if we talk in general terms, the number of jobs are still falling, but then we have still managed to stay above pre-pandemic period. So I'm what I think is the number of jobs gonna still fall until we reach pre-pandemic uh, time. So yeah, number of jobs are still falling. Job market is not the healthiest one, but at least people are not getting fired that often, so that's a good thing. So in short, job market is not good, but it's not the worst as well. Can you suggest any certification in data science? Currently I am doing data science with Python from Datacamp. uh well, I suggested this certificate just like what, 20-30 minutes before. Maybe you can go for one of the Azure's AI certificate. I don't remember exactly what's the name of that certificate. It's AI some thousand or AI 100, AZ 100 or something like that. It's I think it's data science, or I think it's Azure AI 100, something like that. Just Google for uh, Google AI certificates Azure, something like that. So they are free. You can get those certificates. If you get some data science specific certificate, I don't think they are that valuable, because ultimately it's more about your projects than a certificate. But then if you have some cloud certificate, that actually tells that you have worked on cloud platform, because it's not always easy to share your cloud knowledge in your portfolios. So yeah, I would suggest maybe going for Azure certification is better. More and more people are going for masters in the UK instead of US. I don't know why. Well, the main reason is that, well, I think there are two reasons. One is they started giving this 2 years post study work visa, which they had stopped in 2012 or something like that. So that was not the option. So people are getting 2 years of post study work visa, and then people who are experienced, they can finish the course in just 1 year. And even people who are freshers, they can finish the course in just 1 year and they can start looking for jobs. So they do not spend that much money uh, on the course itself. Usually the courses are cheaper in the UK as compared to the US. So I would say that is, well, I mentioned 2 points there. So the course is cheaper, course is shorter, and those are the 2 points. And then the third one is post study work visa. So that's the third point. um yeah, I think those are the, and then yeah, the other one is Brexit. So the idea was, I think a lot of people, they thought that after Brexit, UK will need a lot of skilled workers from other countries, because then European people, they won't be able to come to the UK. They will be treated as same. Uh, they will need visa to come to the UK. So I think Brexit is another reason why a lot of people are still choosing UK over US. So in my opinion, I think these are the reasons. Maybe it could be something else for some other people. One other reason can be PR. So you can get PR in 5 years, but in US, I think it's hard to get PR. So that's another reason. So those are all the reasons which I can think of. You're welcome, Akash. Right, we are just under 1 hour, and a lot of people have already left, I think. But whoever is there, if you still have any questions, feel free to post. If not, then I will see you guys next Saturday, 12 p.m. UK time. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great Saturday. Well, I think for all of you who are in India, Saturday is almost kind of over, but still you have Sunday. So enjoy. Your course considered your experience. In my course, I think we had a lot of freshers as well. But then when I talked to them, I think a lot of people who had some experience, they got offer quite quickly. And then the people who were freshers, they received offer a bit late, I think. So yes, I think they did consider the experience. Bye, Sekhar. Right, so I'll see you next Saturday, 12 p.m. Everyone, bye.